Dead or Alive is one of those fighting game series everyone knows about. But very few people actually know what happened to it. Some remember it as a serious 3D fighter that could stand next to Tekken and Virtua Fighter. Others remember bikini, beach volleyball, and a mid-2000s movie that barely resembled the games at all. And somehow, all of those things are true. Dead or Alive didn't follow a normal life cycle of a game. It didn't just rise, peak, and fade away. It changed identities, split its audience, and reinvented itself more than once. And few fighting games, no, and few games have lived this many different lives. But to understand how it pulled that off, we have to go back to what Dead or Alive was originally built to be. Dead or Alive, developed by Tecmo's Team Ninja under director Tomonobu Itagaki, debuted in arcades on November 26, 1996, marking the late 90s origins of a fighter designed to diverge from contemporaries like Virtua Fighter. Built on Sega Model 2 hardware, DOA immediately distinguished itself through innovative mechanics emphasizing speed and interactivity. Contrasting the deliberate pacing of rivals such as Virtua Fighter 2, which shared the same arcade board but prioritized technical realism. The game's core identity stemmed from replacing traditional blocking with a hold system, where defense seemingly transitioned into offense via directional inputs. This system encouraged reactive play, with holds punishing strikes during startup frames for more damage. DOA's commercial success revitalized Tecmo, selling over 1.5 million units across ports by 2001. This era positioned DOA as a commercial savior for Tecmo, overcoming financial woes via innovative 3D graphics and gameplay. Traits like the hold system, combat speed set DOA apart from all other fighting games at the time. DOA's late 90s launch crafted a fighter built to be different, blending accessibility with depth, and this helped push it into the mainstream. The Xbox era, spanning from the original Xbox launch in November 2001 through the Xbox 360's early years up to 2006, marked a transformative period for the Dead or Alive series. This time frame represented Dead or Alive's mainstream peak, characterized by exclusive Xbox titles that leveraged the console's superior hardware for groundbreaking visuals. DOA's close association with Xbox began with Dead or Alive 3 as a launch title on November 15, 2001, positioning it as a system seller alongside Halo Combat Evolved. The series benefited from Microsoft's marketing, including TV spots highlighting Dead or Alive 3's female fighters. Data confirmed that Xbox's strong attach rates, with DOA titles contributing to software sales exceeding 10 million units in the first 8 months. This synergy elevated DOA from arcade roots to console dominance. But as the series reached its most stable point, Dead or Alive took a side path that would permanently change how people perceived it. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, released in 2003 for Xbox, marked a pivotal departure from the franchise's core fighting game identity. Developed as a spin-off immediately following Dead or Alive 3, the title shifted focus to beach volleyball minigames, relationship simulation, and casino gambling, featuring only female DOA characters with over 100 customizable swimsuits. This M-rated game, which is the first in the series to earn such a designation due to partial nudity, achieved immediate commercial success, topping Xbox sales charts in North America within the first 10 days and selling 73,000 units on day one in Japan. However, its emphasis on fan service redefined public perception of DOA, prioritizing visual appeal over gameplay. The spin-off's launch capitalized on DOA 3's momentum, which sold over 1 million units in its first 5 months. Extreme's strong debut contrasted with the mixed critical reception. Financially, it boosted Xbox sales amid console competition, but brand ramification emerged swiftly. Critics lauded volleyball depth and graphics but noted over-reliance on aesthetics and, well, how the women look. The Extreme spin-off redefined DOA beyond fighting, being its first mature rating and emphasis on simulation over actual fighting gameplay combat. Media framed it as bouncing breasts showcase, overshadowing mechanics. Sequels perpetuated this, with Extreme 2 criticized for fan service and, Extreme 3 skipped the West amid sexism fears. So that's why the Venus Extreme game isn't accessible in the American Steam store. DOA persisted via core titles, but spin-offs highlighted cultural divides. And these spin-offs may have boosted revenue sales short-term, but it risked diluting the series' original identity. And that new image didn't stay confined to a spin-off. It followed Dead or Alive everywhere it went. And where it went next was Hollywood. DOA Dead or Alive is an action film adaptation of the game, directed by Hong Kong action veteran Corey Yen, released internationally on September 7, 2006 in Australia and New Zealand, with a delayed US premiere till June 15th of 2007. The plot centers on elite fighters invited to a secretive Dead or Alive tournament on a tropical island, where they uncover a conspiracy orchestrated by the tournament organizer, blending martial arts competition with espionage elements, loosely inspired by the game's storyline. However, with a $30 million budget, the film only grossed approximately $7.7 million worldwide, marking it as a commercial disappointment that epitomized early 2000s video game adaptations. The film's release amplified debates surrounding the Dead or Alive series' identity, already known for its provocative character designs and physics-based animations, cementing a public perception shift for non-gamers. While core fans appreciated nods to the game's lore, like Kasumi's ninja heritage and the tournament format, broader audiences encountered the franchise through this lens of stylized excess, influencing its cultural footprint. And as a kid, I just enjoyed the movie. I wasn't thinking about storylines and objectifying women. For me, it was a simple fighting game movie along the lines of Mortal Kombat. Good enough for me, it was a guilty pleasure. And by this point, Dead or Alive wasn't just fighting its competitors, it was fighting its own reputation. Dead or Alive 5, released in 2012, marked a pivotal revolution in the long-running DOA fighting game series. Following the Xbox 360 exclusive deal for DOA 4 in 2005, which received strong critical acclaim for its visuals and mechanics, but faced criticism for its platform limitations and post-launch issues, DOA 5 adopted a multi-platform approach, while introducing refinements aimed at enhancing competitive viability. This shift positioned DOA 5 as a corrective iteration, emphasizing a more grounded tone through realistic graphics, sweat, and dirt effects on fighters, but not forgetting its fan service aspects with semi-transparent clothing during battles. The game's competitive focus manifested in new mechanics like power blows, cliffhangers, and interactive arenas. DOA 5's presence at major events like EVO side tournaments and dedicated circuits such as Battle Royale 2014 further built community momentum, with iterations like the last round achieving over 9 million downloads by 2017. These elements collectively proved the series' enduring viability in the fighting game landscape. And for a moment, it looked like Dead or Alive had finally found its footing again. But that stability wouldn't last long. With DOA 6 released on March 2019, after a delay from February, represented Team Ninja's attempt to reposition the long-running 3D fighting game series as a legitimate esports contender. The director emphasized enhanced accessibility features like Fatal Rush combos and beginner tutorials to broaden appeal beyond the franchise's fan service reputation, while introducing toned-down default costumes to project a more conservative image. However, this rebranding sparked an identity conflict, as core fans expected the series' signature jiggle physics and revealing outfits, leading to mixed reception where critics praised core fighting mechanics but noted persistent sexualization. The game's launch aligned with a free-to-play Core Fighters Edition on March 15, 2019, aiming to boost player base, yet it ultimately stalled, with support ending abruptly after 13 months of its release. DOA 6's serious pivot involved conservative default outfits and customizable fan service unlocks. The director clarified no platform-specific censorship occurred, debunking rumors and affirmed sexy content remained for core fans. Yet, backlash ensued. Players criticized the shift as alienating, with EVO mishandling promo reinforcing perceptions of mixed priorities. Community forums echoed frustration, labeling it mishandled amid rushed development. DOA 6 epitomized microtransaction excess, launching Season Pass 1 at $93 for 62 costumes and 2 characters through June 19th, exceeding base game prices, by the way. 4 passes followed, totaling over $400 potential spent, recycling DOA 5 assets. Unfortunately, support for DOA 6 was very short. Despite its 3 million downloads, sales underwhelmed versus DOA 5's decade-long run. And yet, even after support ended for DOA 6, it didn't mean the series would disappear. DOA's continued survival stems from spin-offs like the Extreme Beach volleyball games, which sold well via fan service while mainline entries peaked in the mid-2000s. Also, there is a DOA Extreme vs. Vacation on Steam. It's still alive with updates and everything. Unfortunately, the Western Steam doesn't provide access for the game, but if you somehow manage to get your hands on it on Steam, you would be able to download and play it with no issues. DOA's unusual arc exemplifies adaptation over disappearance, sustained by diversification with its spin-offs. DOA has proved that it's resilient in a saturated genre. And once you look at its entire history together, Dead or Alive's unique life makes a lot more sense. But what do you think? Have you played any of the DOAs? Were you alive when DOA first released? I would have said yes, but I realized I wasn't. Just missed the mark. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. And please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.